let's talk about the games happened on Friday, the 21st. Let's just get right into it. The first game is the Oklahoma City lost to the Charlotte Hornets. Wasn't close. 98-121. Oklahoma City has lost 2 straight games with over 20 points. Lou Dort, horrible, 1 for 7, still a hold. The guy's been averaging over 15 points and 2.5 threes on the season. The field goal is a concern, but still want to hold on to him. Eric Wiggins started, got 26 minutes. If Eric Wiggins can consistently get 30 plus minutes, then he could be fantasy relevant. But before that happens, they really switch it up depending on the matchups. They always start Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, Shea, but the front court depend on the matchup. Had 6 rebounds and 2 steals. While Jimmy Robinson put up a pretty good line, 12 points, 11 rebounds with 2 steals and 2 threes. But unless OKC's got a great schedule, you can't really trust any of those guys. Josh Giddey had a really good game, 21 points, 10 for 17, really good field goal efficiency with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. If he adds some defensive stats, that would be great. Shea, overall decent game, but again, only 43% from the field. This has been a big problem with Shea all season. Shea, in the last 2 weeks, he's the 28th ranked player. He has definitely picked it up a little bit in the later month. Last week he's been averaging 24 points, which is great. Only 0.7 threes with 1.1 steals and a block. Those defensive stats are great. And free throw, 87% on 7.7 attempts are also great. But in order for him to be that top 30, he needs to improve his efficiency and make more threes as well. And obviously, the defensive stats. There are a lot of areas where I could see him improve. But this season, he's just not doing it so far. For the Charlotte Hornets, great win. LaMelo Ball just being pretty bad. I will continue buy low. As we can see, I don't know if getting COVID, has anything to do with his recent struggles. But the minutes is low. He was a first-round player before he got COVID. He's still contributing all categories. As we can see here, had a block, 8 assists, 9 rebounds, and 2 threes. But last week, 2 weeks, let's check out where he is. Wow, really bad. Well, not really bad. 70th ranked player. So I would throw him maybe like a Bradley Beal. If I can, Bradley Beal also hasn't been playing well himself either. But those are the trades I would look to do because also got a big name. He was also getting drafted probably before LaMelo Ball. But I think rest of the way, Bradley Beal should be better. Well, sorry. LaMelo Ball should be better than Bradley Beal. And I don't think it's that close, to be honest. Terry Rozier, keep it going. 3 threes, 24 points, 9 assists. The guy just really surprised me. This is the second year in a row now. But again, if we look at his stats across the board, majority of his value coming from the 3, some points, and efficiency. So those are the type of players that, same thing with Norman Powell, right? Those 2 players, those are the type of players that, I don't know. Efficiency is a pretty tricky category. And threes, you can find them everywhere. So yeah, think about trying to sell. Well, he actually did play really well, a plus 24, while LaMelo Ball was only a plus 1 this game. Gordon Hayward, another average game, and Miles Bridges, man, so good. The only thing with him is the bad free throw. If he can be a 82%, 83%, then he's a top 20 player, very, very comfortably. The counting stats are all there. They're all there. Defensive stats, rebound, even assists, provide a little bit, score, hit threes, just everything. And field goal wise is also okay. PJ Washington got 26 minutes, but just can't really trust the minutes. We know if PJ gets 30 minutes, he's a must-roster guy. Caleb Oubre Jr. also came back, played 21. If you need points and threes, sure, you could stream this guy, but be careful of his free throws. He went 2 for 5 again. I don't understand how he can be such a bad free throw shooter. 3 steals is also nice. Cody Martin, just a steal special. Special is nothing else. All right, let's go to the next game. The Lakers beat the Orlando Magic. They actually struggled a little bit in the first half. the Lakers, and then they turned it around in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Yeah, they won 15 points. They take any win, even though it's against the Magic at Orlando. LeBron, just good numbers. I mean, although AD is gonna be back soon, AD, he's already doing some on-court activities. He could be back next week. So I do expect LeBron's production to fall off a little bit. And it's not too late to trade LeBron to get although Curry's been struggling. If you can do LeBron plus somebody to get Jokic, although it will be hard to buy Jokic low, right? If you can get LeBron for Harden, I think those are the trades I still want to do. If you can get LeBron for Karl Anthony Towns, those are two of the guys I feel very comfortable trading LeBron for. Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, these guys get hurt a lot, so I don't know. I'm not too sure about those guys. But Harden and Karl Anthony Towns, if you can get them, I would. Trevor Ariza, they've been giving Trevor Ariza a lot of minutes, and as a result, Malik Monk has been coming off the bench. And Monk, if you can sell him, I would. And AD is gonna be back. Who knows? I mean, these guys' minutes they're not consistent. They're not gonna be consistent producers on this team other than LeBron, AD, and Russ. Right? All the other guys, they're not. Their minutes get inconsistent. Depend on the matchup. They're changing. I don't know. There's a new starting lineup every other game. Dwight Howard played 30 minutes. Who cares? Avery Bradley, now he just gets 20. Russell Westbrook, after he got benched, quote unquote, last game, had a good bounce back game. 3 steals is nice, 11 rebounds and 7 assists with great efficiency, and somewhat took care of the ball. Only 3 turnovers, while LeBron had 6. Right, and then you have Taylor Horton Tucker, Carmelo Anthony. Melo actually went off in just 17 minutes, but these guys, they are not. I think if you want to stream threes, there are probably better options on the waiver wire. And then we look at the Magic, Gary Harris, sure. I mean, the minutes is still high. Like, even though Jalen Suggs has been starting, Gary Harris has also been starting. We don't know Wendell Carter Jr. eventually gonna make his way back to the starting lineup. So what's gonna happen with Gary Harris? Because they're gonna start Cole Anthony, Fred Wagner, Mo Bamba, and Wendell Carter Jr. Jalen Suggs this game, he needs to be picked up. Really, really good. 9 for 10 from the free throw line is huge. 2 steals and 2 blocks. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Gary Harris. If he comes off the bench, doesn't get 30 plus minutes, we can move on. But not for now, he still provides some okay numbers. So it's fine to hold him for a few more games. But be ready to drop him. Fred Wagner, 6 for 9, good stuff, 15 points. But with all the guys back, I do expect his his usage to count down quite a bit. Had 2 blocks here, is great. Mo Bamba, after going off last game, still good. 8 rebounds, a steal, and 2 blocks, 11 points. Was in some foul trouble. But hey, like Jonathan Isaac is not coming back, so he should have, good value rest of the way. Chuma Okeke, as long as he's getting 30 minutes, we could have him. He can grab you some rebound and getting you some steals. Let's go to the next game. The Sixers, they blew this one. 102, 101. They were down. Yeah, the Clippers were down 24 points. My God. They came back. Batum played well again. Hit 3 threes, 2 steals, 7 rebounds, and 15 points. He scored 32 points in a half last game. So, sure, if you want to pick him up. But majority of the Clipper guys, I don't really trust them. All them, like their production. Other than, I guess, Marcus Morris Sr., he's going to give you consistent points and threes and some rebounds. But everybody else is... Amir Coffey also been playing fairly well. Like, you could pick him up. Same thing with Batum. Zubac, 24 minutes, grab you some rebounds. But at the end of the day, he really give you, solid rebound and some field goal. But he's not a great shot blocker. So he's a 2-category guy. And the volume is not huge. So he could be a good streamer. You want to have him on your team, if you try to win rebound and field goal are close that week. But again, absolutely no threes, very low blocks, no steals, no assists, right? Doesn't score a lot of points, so just a lot of negatives with him. Reggie Jackson had an okay game, 19 points and 9 assists is actually decent. Good from the field as well. But with Paul George out, I thought Dragic is gonna be that 20-point average guy, right? But that hasn't been the case. Clippers, they're playing team ball. Luke Kennard, just 20 minutes. Amir Coffey has taken his lunch. We thought that with Paul George out, we're gonna have Luke Kennard starting playing 30+ minutes. Maybe what happened next game, but for now, Amir Coffey is the guy that we could have. But the situation is fluid. Same thing with Eric Bledsoe, was getting 30+ minutes, now gets 19. We look at the 76ers. Joel Embiid, really good game, but they lost the game. 40 points, 7 for 10. With his free throw, his free throw is going to be up and down. But 30 rebounds, 60% from the field, continues to be a beast in the years to come. So always going to be a tricky guy to have in fantasy in next year, so in 2 years draft. Because on a per game basis, he's going to be top 6, top 7, even better. But how many games is he going to play? He played 34, to be honest. It's not horrible. He missed maybe 5 or 6 more games than the other guys. Jokic played 39 only. So I think overall, if you drafted Joel Embiid at the end of first round, I think you got your money's worth. Tobias Harris, also a decent game. 4 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 20 points. He struggled. He really struggled last game, but again, overall, he's been disappointed this season. Furkan Korkmaz, 39 minutes. You would think he's gonna score a bunch of points, but only took 7 shots and 5 points. But somehow was a plus 13. Isaiah Joe started. Matisse Thybulle and Danny Green were both out. So some of these guys like Tyrese Maxey, also Tobias Harris, their minutes are higher than usual. But so if they were playing well, I'll look to try to sell them. But none of them played that well, to be honest. Tyrese Maxey, the efficiency is completely gone. 19 points is nice, 3 threes, 8 assists. But I'll look to try to sell him any opportunity I get. Seth Curry also out this game, I forgot. All right, let's go to the next game. The Miami Heat, they made a huge comeback versus the Hawks, but in the end, they couldn't do it. 108-110. Jimmy Butler, still a good game, I would say. Not so great from the field. He was shooting 50% from the field this year. I think that's got to come down. 48 now. So really 48, 47 is realistic for him. Over 50, like 51% might be too high. We're seeing a little bit now, but the rest of the line sounds about right. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. PJ Tucker left the game, only played 8 minutes. But there's really nobody you say, okay, I want to go pick him up, so it's fine. Bam, 7 for 7 from the free throw line is really good. But for Bam, my expectation for him is get more defensive stats. And I know the assists are hard to get back, but he got 5 here, so we don't know. Whenever Kyle Lowry plays, it looks like Bam is not getting any assist. We'll monitor Bam. He's being a really bad all year. A good buy low guy, like if you can throw a top 50 player at him or do a 2-for-1 top 50 plus somebody to get banned, I think you get your money's worth. But again, in category leagues, if you're pounding threes, he's great. Like you don't have to pound free throws with him. He's being a decent free throw shooter. Like he provides numbers across the board other than 3-point shot. Duncan Robinson hit 5 threes. Sure, and Gabe Vincent started in place. Like Gabe Vincent, you could stream him for some points and threes if. Same thing with Max Strauss. If Kyle Lowry continues to be out. And Caleb Martin had played 20 minutes, had 4 steals. That's huge. You could also stream him now that PJ Tucker is out. But unless they got a good schedule, I don't think they're like you have to stream any of those guys. But like for example, Max, if you want threes, you could stream him. He's a 3-point specialist. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, these 2 guys need to be picked up. In the short term, both had an okay game here. 13 and 10 for DeAndre Hunter, and Kevin Huerter 5 threes is pretty huge. 21 points, good efficiency. Yeah, these 2 guys, at least until Bogdanovic comes back, he's gonna eat into some of these guys' minutes. Okongwu still started. We could still hold on to him for maybe 1 more game. Clint Capella was on a minute, and they actually played both of them together for like 3 minutes. If John Collins get traded, Okongwu become interesting. So just hold on to him for a few more games, just see what happens. He had 4 rebounds, all of them are offensive. As we've seen, like he can be a 2 blocks guy if getting 25 minutes. Like that's possible. So I think that's good upside right there. But again, like if Clint Capella back to full strength, playing 35 minutes, and Okongwu goes back playing 15, then we could drop it. Trae Young, 12 went to the free throw line 15 times, 28 turnovers is pretty bad. But overall, like the counting stat with Trae Young is always pretty solid. It's the other stuff. It's the defensive stats. It's the efficiency. It's the turnovers. John Collins wants to get traded. He was also in some foul trouble as well, 5 fouls. But like the counting stat, not really there. Big majority of his value coming from his efficiency. Delon Wright, and I know Collins used to be a good blocks guy. That's not the case. That hasn't been the case with him. Delon Wright somehow got 28 minutes, but we trade around. I don't think we really want to have anything to do with Delon. All right, let's talk about the next game. The Portland Trailblazers beat the Celtics. They let this team beat them. I guess CJ did play this game. Freddie Simons is not so bad. 21 points for threes and 2 steals. That's not so bad. Like if you got Damian Lillard and you dropped him to get a Freddie Simons, I think you got something back. He could be a top 50, 60 player rest of the way. Now that CJ is back, he could give you 18 points, I think. 5-6 assists. Maybe over 2 threes a game. This is what I'm thinking. So obviously nowhere near what Damian Lillard can give you, but it's something you get back if you picked him up. He does have good upside the rest of the way. Yeah, who knows if somebody gets traded. Norman Powell is still out, so I don't know what happens when Norman Powell comes back. But he's gonna be the starting point guard. CJ, is this his first game back? I'm not sure. He's been out for a long time. 24 points, 2 blocks. He should be the number 1 guy on this team now. Also should have a monster finish if they're playing him huge minutes, if he's trying hard. Yusuf Nurkic is really good. This is why we love this guy. 10 for 13 from the free throw line is the only thing, but everything else, man. 17 rebounds, 6 assists, still on the block. Hit 1 3, 29 points. What a monster game. Robert Covington played 39 minutes. Minutes is huge with Robert. You can't look. I'm looking to sell him to get a top 40 player to do a 2-for-1 40-50, because once Larry Nance Jr. comes back, I think that's going to impact him a little bit. He's still going to, even if he comes off the bench, he can still get 30 minutes. But over the last 2 weeks, he's been like top. After this game, maybe not so much. 29th. So if you can do a 2-for-1, get the top 40 player, that's something I would for sure be looking to do. Nessa Little. He's also another guy that we could look to stream at least. Be getting 30+ minutes whenever he plays. For the Celtics, bad loss. I saw a stat. Jason Tatum has missed his last 23s. 0 for 6 here. Just crazy. In his rookie season, he was shooting 45% from 3. It's crazy how big of a drop off this guy's 3-point shot. At least 3-point. I don't efficiency. He's never been great, but man, it was better than 45%. Oh, sorry, it was 43%, but he was only attempting 3 threes a game back in 2017. This year he's shooting 31% from 3. Last year he was at 38. So this year it's been really bad. And last year's numbers were just better than this year's across the board. Efficiency, even free throw got 2% worse. Rebound the only thing. Everything else has a drop off. I don't know. Tatum, the reason we take him in the late first or early second is his availability. His per game basis was never going to be a top 10 player. Top 20, yes. So that's what you're going to get out of him in the years to come. Al Horford had 3 blocks. That's nice. 27 minutes. Even though nothing else, but the blocks is just, it's fine too. I think we still got to hold him just because the blocks. Robert Williams, great game. You know, I don't know what else to say. 10 rebounds, 6 being offensive, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Continue to be a beast. Ranking wise, he's gonna be really, really good. But you can think about if you trade away Robert Williams, sure, you're not gonna win. That's hurts your blocks by a lot. Sure. But you could maybe get a guy back like a Zach LaVine. You get a huge boost, points, threes, free throw, right? Basically, if you trade away Robert Williams, you could get 4 or 5 categories back. Something to think about. Although he's also a big rebound guy and big field goal guy, but the thing with Robert Williams is that inconsistent, right? And he's gonna miss some games as well. Jaylen Brown, 22 points, 6 for 6 from 3. Yeah, not the best game from Jaylen. Top 30, top 35 player. I thought the beginning of the season, the injury maybe could impact him, the way he plays, or maybe he could get hurt again. But lately he's been fine. Dennis Schroeder started, plays just 22. I think we could move on from him, to be honest. We could pick him back up again if somebody's out. And this game, Marcus Smart didn't even play, so we got to move on from Dennis Schroeder. Although he just keeps us around. I mean, he had 4 steals here. That makes it tough. How can you drop a guy who just had 4 steals? All right, let's talk about the next game. The Toronto Raptors. They've been winning some games. They beat the Washington Wizards 109-104 at 5. And the guy, Gary Trent Jr. is finally back. That's great. 30 minutes. And the rest of the starters, man, the minutes is too insane. 41 minutes for OG. Really good game. 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals, and a block. Really good game from him. 12 points. With OG, I mean, sure, this year he's taking a bigger offensive load. But mainly we want him to get those defensive stats. That's mainly what drives his value. Scotty Bombs, 27 points, also had a great game. But this game was against the Wizards, so Wizards, they're not great defensively. But regardless, a good game from Scotty, and we'll see. Because all the Raptors starting players, they get such high minutes, so they all like top 50 players, I think. Like Scotty's top 50, I think. Gary Trent, they could the entire starting 5, they're just Nick Nurse. They just playing the 40 minutes, man. Pascal played 41 minutes. I mean, come on. What is up with this the crazy minutes? But put up a great line as well. Are they gonna run on gas? I'm not sure. Play these guys 41 minutes a night. Gary Trent Jr., he's ramping up. Once he does, he's also gonna play 35 plus minutes a night. And Fred VanVleet, 2 steals, 2 blocks is really good. 12 assists, and 1 rebound with 4 threes. And Chris Boucher, with everybody back, we still want to hold on to him. He had 22 minutes. 20 minutes of Chris Boucher. He's, you can hold him for the blocks. I think it's still fine to hold. If you have that roster spot wanting for some defensive stats, it's fine to have him. For the Washington Wizards, KCP did not have the best game, only played 28 minutes. He could be a streamer. Danny Advia started this game because Kyle Kuzma was out. If he continues to start, we could stream him. He's a guy that could provide a little bit of everything, especially on the defensive, can get you some defensive stats. Daniel Gafford is a drop, guys, at this point. 11 points. He keeps starting and keep getting 12 minutes. And Montrezl Harrell is still getting his 20 plus minutes. So the rest of the 24 minutes, it used to be Daniel Gafford. Now he has to share the minutes with Thomas Bryant. So you got to move on from him, unfortunately. And Bradley Beal played 39 minutes, high minutes. 9 turnovers from Bradley Beal. The rest of the line look okay. But Bradley Beal this year, I don't think he, on a per game basis, he could be a top 20 player. Maybe he will have a stretch. But realistically, top 30, I think. Top 30, top 35. Jaylen Brown type of player. Yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie had a great game. 7 rebounds, 7 hit 5 threes. That's huge. 17 points and a steal. And Montrezl Harrell, 10 points, 23 minutes. If you're looking for some field goal, sure, you could stream him, but I don't think I want to roster him at all times if he's just going to play 22 minutes on that. All right, let's talk about the next team. We got a lot of games. Okay, we got 5 games to talk about. This game, Chicago Bulls lost to Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, they keep it close. Only lost by 4. But for the Bulls, we got to pick up Ayo Dosunmu. He played 39 minutes with Alex Caruso out. And we know Lonzo Ball is going to be out 6 weeks, 7 weeks. We don't know. Could be more, could be less. But the fact that with Caruso back, he still played 40 minutes. So we have to pick him up. He did not have the best game here. But the minutes is there. And we know he's capable of putting up great numbers. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and steal with 5 points. Kobe White also needs to be rostered. He played horrible, obviously, 3 for 15. But if they play Oklahoma City, he could go up for 30 easy, right? If they play some bad defensive teams, if they play the Wizards, really good points and threes guy. He went 0 for 9 from 3. He will bounce back. Nikola Vuchevich, solid game. Man, I mean, as bad as he's been shooting the ball this year on the season, he's already back in the second round. So if you drafted him in the second round, sure, like he's 22nd ranked player, and he doesn't miss games, usually. So that's still great value there. Provide a bit of everything, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 rebound, just solid enough across the board. DeMar DeRozan, 35 points is nice. 7 for 8. What a game. Like if you got DeRozan, if you were down like 7% from the free throw line, like if your opponent is like 83 and you were shooting like 75, I mean, you probably caught up. With DeRozan going 17 for 18, that's really good. 6 rebound, 3 others. But the rest of the line, again, majority of his value coming from his efficiency and points. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, right? He gets you some assists, but very low defensive stats as well. But regardless, very good game. Tyler Cook played 25. I don't think we need to worry about him. And Alex Caruso, if he's out there, if he's out there on the waiver wire, we could also pick him up. He's been averaging 2 steals this season so far. I think 2 steals might be too high, but 1.5 is realistic. And he can provide some assist as well. So good stuff. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday still coming off the bench. 27 minutes. So Chris Middleton still, did not have the best game, 16 points, but still in blocks. In the last 2 weeks, Chris Middleton's got to be a top 30 player. Let me see. Sorry, 4th ranked player. What am I saying? In the last 2 weeks, he's a 4th ranked. Yeah, obviously try to sell high if you can. Top 30. I would do, like if I get to Chris Middleton for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I would do it. Look for like top 30 player or Anthony Edwards. Those guys that provide huge counting stats. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 30 points. Yeah, just great game from Giannis. Bad from the free throw line, but that's fine. Counting stats super solid. Bobby Portis, double almost every single game, but I don't see him getting a lot of defensive stats lately. There was a period of time he was getting a lot, like 1.5 steals and 1.5 blocks. Those times were long gone, so yeah. For now it's still a very solid hold, but if you didn't sell high on him, you just gotta have to stick with him. Jrue Holiday played 27, not the best game. We don't know when he'll be back to full strength. For now, just hold. This is why, like, if the guy is out for an extended period of time, it's okay to keep him in the IR for a few more games and then get him out there because he might be on the minute restriction and a bunch of other stuff. This game, the Brooklyn Nets beat the San Antonio Spurs 117. The Nets are kind of getting, disrespected. Every time I look at the lines, they were only like +1 or -1. They played the Wizards, they were only like, the odds were pretty much even. The spread pretty much even. And same thing with this game. The odds were pretty much even. But they got the win, 15 points. Harden went off this game. 37 minutes. Hit his 4 threes, 37 points. 10 rebounds and 11 assists. And, Harden this year, we thought the expectation for him is that with Kyrie not playing half of the games, he should be a top 3 player. That hasn't been the case. A big reason is that he's shooting 42% from the field. Otherwise, I think he should be like realistically he should be averaging around 25-26 points with 45% efficiency. Everything else is look pretty in line. Like he's gonna turn the ball over a lot as well. So I still look at him as a top 5 player. So if you can trade LeBron to get Harden, I would still do it. This is obviously a good game for him. Kyrie, just good stuff. 24 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 threes. Whenever Kyrie plays, you just gotta enjoy it. If you got Kyrie, Day'Ron Sharpe, not interested. This game Eldridge came off the bench, just put up. I think last game played the Wizards, although the Wizards didn't mean much, but he can come off the bench and have huge usage. Like he took 14 field goals in 22 minutes, provides you solid rebounds, great efficiency. So he's a guy to have. It's okay to hold on to him, I think. Kessler Edwards, 3 steals in the block is good, but usually he's not gonna do those. And Patty Mills somehow started as a shooting guard, so it's kind of undersized the Nets backcourt. He's also a guy fine to have. Obviously didn't really do much this game. We look at the San Antonio Spurs. Jakob Poeltl had 3 blocks. Jakob Poeltl, Derek White, Dejounte Murray, these 3 guys have been good fantasy players all year. Poeltl did his part. Derek White struggled massively, efficiency-wise and from the free throw line, and no defensive stats. He'll be better than this. Derek White should be a top 50 player across 9 category leagues. So just gotta be patient with him. Next game he could very well have 3 steals and 3 blocks, with 16 points and 3 threes. But I'm surprised that the Spurs only got 3 steals out of the Nets. How many turnovers Harden has? Harden only had 3 turnovers. Okay. So the Nets took care of the ball this game. Keldon Johnson, not a must roster, but if you like the rebounds and the points and the threes, sure. Dejounte Murray, another solid game. I mean, the counting stats every single game, game in and out, you could almost expect him to get 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 17 points. Really good stuff. Devin Vassell, just the 24 minutes, kind of disappointing. Not a must roster, but he's a guy to have to stream, I think. He's not getting consistent 25 minutes even. So that makes it hard to hold on to him. Let's go to the next game. We got 3 more games. The Grizzlies, they just keep winning. And Jokic played 40 minutes this game. My God. For the Grizzlies, Ja Morant. I think I saw Rato Ward title is that Ja Morant cannot stop going off. He really can't. 38 points again. Ever since, what's his name? Desmond Bane went to the protocol. He's been popping off every single game. I don't know. Like his playing style is kind of injury prone. So let's see. Let's hope he can continue to play like this and be healthy. Most importantly, 38 points, 26 field goals. I think that's a bit too high, but they got some nice players. Like you only give John Conchar 6 shots. You could get spread the shots a little, but that's fine. They got the win. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, really good stuff. 6 turnovers, sure. When you have such high usage, you're gonna have a bunch of turnovers. John Conchar, we could potentially to stream him with Desmond Bane out. He offered, like everybody on the Grizzlies, they get steals. They get some defensive stats. And John Conchar also a decent, okay rebounder, I think. So we could stream him. Zion Williams, maybe not so much. Kyle Anderson is also out. I'd rather much have Brandon Clark or DeAnthony Melton than Zion Williams and John Conchar. But all these guys are fine to stream, I think. Jaren Jackson Jr., he just couldn't stop blocking shots. He had another 4 blocks here. In the last 2 weeks, he's been ridiculous. Well, 2 for 6 from the free throw line is not good, obviously. Also a sell high. He's a 10th ranked player. But I wouldn't sell him for anything outside top 30. Top 25. I would think about it. But he's been averaging 4 blocks. That's obviously too high. If he can average 2.5 blocks, that'll be good. And he's 10th ranked player while only shooting 44.8% as a power forward. and 78% from the free throw line. So when those two improve, who knows, he could be a top 5 player. But 4.1 blocks is obviously not sustainable. And this season, he's actually not hitting that many threes. Over the years, I think he's hit more threes than what he's doing this year. And with everybody out, he's gonna have a higher usage. And this game, he only played 28 minutes because, again, in foul troubles, which I'm okay with. Because if he doesn't go for those blocks, he's not gonna get the blocks, right? So as a result, he's gonna be in foul trouble from time to time. But good game from Jaren Jackson again. For the Denver Nuggets, Jokic, huge minutes again, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, about really good stuff from Jokic. Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green. Aaron Gordon, they all provided some solid enough defensive stats versus the Grizzlies. Aaron Gordon is fine to have, but usually his stat line look pretty ugly. Jeff Green, I don't think this is a good game for him, but I don't think we really want to stream him. Too many nights he's not doing anything. Will Barton, the minutes is super high. Will Barton also went off here. 27 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 threes, and a steal, and a block. Good stuff, but if you can get a top 50 player, if you can do a 2-for-1 to get Will Barton, to me he's like top 80, 90, because his efficiency wasn't that great and he doesn't really get all that defensive stats. So if you can get a top 50 player, do a 2-for-1, especially when Will Barton is playing like this, yeah, you do for those trades. Look for those trades. Morris, boring 17 points and no assist. What? 3 threes. Facu Campazzo coming in, played 20 minutes and 2 steals. Campazzo is a guy we could stream for steals and assists. But the past few games, with Jokic playing 40 minutes, he's not going to get, because Jokic is on the court all the time, running the offense, he's going to get a fewer opportunity, few minutes. All right, 2 more games. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons lost to the Jazz. At Jazz, sure, that shouldn't be surprising. Hamidou Diallo, I think we can say goodbye to him. Kelly Olynyk is back, and we're going to have Jeremy Grant back. Let's say goodbye to him, yeah. Sadiq Bey, 5 for 14. What else is new? He's just going to shoot 40% from the field. But counting stats look okay. 3 threes, 4 assists, and 2 steals, and 13 points. He's a guy not okay to have, I think. He's getting the minutes, hitting threes. Isaiah Stewart in foul trouble again, would you know it? But this game was against Rudy Gobert, so I'm going to give him a pass. He's still a guy fine to hold because any center that played close to 30 minutes in the NBA needs to be picked up in fantasy in 12 teams at least. Because they're just going to grab rebound and get blocks. And you just don't really find them anywhere. It's pretty rare because all the nice centers are rostered already, all the other ones. Kate Cunningham somehow played 41 minutes. I don't know why, but they needed him to play 41. They still lost by 10 though. Had a really good game, went off, 25 points, 2 steals and 3 blocks. This is one nice thing about Kate Cunningham is, as a guard, he also get blocks, right? He obviously provides some different steals as well. Bigger thing with him is the low efficiency and turnovers. And more games than not, he's gonna turn over a bunch and have a low field goal gun. But this is a good game for him for sure. And as I talked about before, if you're not pounding field goal and turnover, you gotta try to sell him to a team that's pounding both. Because pounding both, he's a top 40. Who knows? It could be a top 35, 30 player. But if you're not pounding them on the season, let's see where he is after this big game. Yeah, 98th. 98 is maybe a bit too low. Across 9 categories, maybe should be a top 80 player. But if you pound those two, he could be top 30. Who knows? I haven't done it, but top 30, 40 range. Corey Joseph started, but yeah, not really. You could stream him for some assists with as long as what's his name is out. I forgot. For the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell is still out with some concussion protocol. So with him out, you could stream Joe Ingles, although he didn't do much this game. But if Joe Ingles played 30 minutes, you could expect some assist numbers coming out from him and hit some threes with good efficiency. Sure, and Jordan Clarkson should have a higher usage as well. He had 20 points here. Sure, he's not a must roster guy, but if Donovan Mitchell continues to miss games, you gotta have Jordan Clarkson. Bogdanovic also gonna get a usage boost. Sure, 23 points with threes, that's nice. Royce O'Neal. He's a guy to, you could always stream him. He's a guy that probably gonna be on, you know, 100% of your league's rosters at some point in the season. Rudy Gobert, huge game versus a bad Detroit team. Expected 4 blocks, 24 points, and 14 rebounds. Just a three category guy. Field goal, blocks, and rebounds. Everything else should be negative. Sure, a good game regardless. All right, let's go to the last game of the day. The Houston Rockets. What's going on with the Warriors without Draymond Green? They seem to play worse without Draymond than without Curry. Without Curry, they got Jordan Poole. They still got the offensive power of the defense. So maybe Draymond Green is the most important player for this team in particular, because you can put Curry anywhere, he's gonna be great. But in this particular sense, Draymond maybe is more valuable to Curry at this point. There could be a lot of reasons, but the Warriors do struggle without Draymond Green. For the Rockets, they almost did it, and our friend Jalen Green going 0 for 11 from the field. My God, what a game! What a game from him. And again, if you pound in field goals, you could have him, but he's not doing anything else this game. He didn't do anything else, right? If you have like a Robert Covington going 0 for 11, sure, but he gets you 2 steals and a block. Rough stuff. If you want to move on from him, that's totally understand. Kevin Porter Jr. and the Rockets don't have a good schedule in the next weeks as well. Kevin Porter Jr. 8 assists, 4 steals, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. What else is new? 6 for 14, but 4 steals is huge this game. If you pound in a bunch of categories, you could have Kevin Porter Jr. Christian Wood, huge game. 2 steals, 2 blocks, 15 rebounds, 19 points. But versus the Warriors, it was Kevon Looney, a bit undersized. You usually expect a big man to kind of go off. 3 threes really good here from Christian Wood, and hit his free throws. Jason Tate, I don't think we really want to have him play just 22 minutes. If he can't get played consistent 30 minutes, but Kenyon Martin Jr. got more minutes than him this game. If Kenyon Martin Jr. can get consistent 25 plus, he's a guy we should look at. Garrison Matthews, probably not. As long as Jalen Green is starting and healthy. But Rockets, a lot of Rocket bench guys have good value if they were given 30 minutes. Emperor Şengün, we're waiting for him to get freed. I don't think he's gonna get freed unless the trade happens. He's just gonna play 15 to 20 minutes every single night. For the Golden State Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, 17 points with no defensive stats and 1 for 4 from the free throw line. That's really hurting his value. If you have Wiggins, you want to think about pounding free throws next year. Like if you're not pounding free throws, taking Wiggins around 100 may not be the best idea, because he's just gonna hurt your free throws. And can he help you win one category? I don't think so. Otto Porter Jr. played 27 minutes, sure, with Clay out and with Draymond out. Otto Porter Jr. is a guy we could probably not to stream, to be honest. Kevon Looney has been playing really well without Draymond. If he's out there on the waiver wire, let's go grab him. And if you can sell him, that would also be great. Once Draymond comes back, I don't think he's going to be this good. 1 steal, 4 blocks, 12 rebounds. Really good stuff. Jordan Poole, you should probably drop him after this game. 20 points is really good. If he's still starting, right, we obviously don't drop him. But I think the sample size already told us that if Clay is playing, even though he's only playing 24 minutes, Jordan Poole is going to come off the bench and play 23, 24 minutes, and that's not enough for 12 teams in category leagues. Curry continues to struggle. What's up with him? But I think I still want to have Curry over LeBron. 22 points, 12 assists, a steal and a block for threes. Really, really bad efficiency again. Curry in the last 2 weeks, where is he at? He should be, actually last 2 weeks he's the 11th ranked player. Shooting 41%, that's his biggest problem, shooting 41%. Once that goes up to his career averages, like 47, 48, he's still top 5. So if I can get Curry for LeBron, I would 100% do it. I would 100% do it. And then like all the other guys, Damian Lee, Gary Payton, Bielitsa, Kuminga. The Warriors, they like to play 12 guys each night. So none of those guys really have that much value. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.